Right, ladies and gentlemen, me dear Okatachi Kwame Afrifa Mensa. Happy 98.9 FM na Midimi Juma Enei. Se wako show so na onyama KSM show. Wadaroma unko bebia. KSM show is the best and numero uno.
We're back, and folks. Today we're keeping it real, man. No holds barred. We're keeping it real. Citizen, I like calling you citizen.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, and just before the break, we're talking about how generally there are certain norms that we should strive for, but we have become a people of mediocrity. And you give great examples. If there's something hovering above, you can tell where there's order and where there's order. And most likely, where there's order is Africa. You know, so it's a very, very, very difficult situation when you get to ask what I'm going to ask this. Are we lending any credibility to the fact that somehow our thinking is inferior? Because I don't get it.
You and I try to.
Are we lending any credibility? Before you even answer that, the great Nkrumah said that we are going to prove to the world that we are capable of managing our own affairs. 63 years later, we are begging like beggars, you know. Your first how do you call that? Surala. Mm-hmm. So he meant well, and I'm sure he did. Mm-hmm. But have we lived up to the expectation of
we
proving?
could have lived up to the expectation.
We could have,
and we still can. I believe that.
We still can.
Yeah.
We can.
No, we can. But
okay.
We need a mindset change. The difficulties Ghana is facing is not so much of economic backwardness. It is not even poverty, because the poverty has been created by our mindset. We have impoverished ourselves. And therefore, if you take two people, let's say you take twins, and one of them is taken at birth to, say, the United States, and the other one stays in Ghana. And 20, 25 years later, you bring them together. The one that grew up in a certain mindset, say in the United States, even though they were twins, identical twins, will be totally different in their thinking, independent in thinking, you know, I can do it for myself, this type of thinking, than the one who stayed here, where we have a dependency
syndrome
mindset.
Yeah.
What can uncle do for me? I have a problem. Who should I call? This and that, you know. So I think that we can change our situation by changing
the mindset.
Our mindset.
Yeah. But I agree with you. But do you realize that even before you can start changing your mindset, then at least you've gotten to the point where you're realizing that my mindset is not correct, so let me change it. But we're not even aware that we have the wrong mindset. So how do you even change something that you think is okay to begin with?
Well, that one is a leadership question. You started by saying that Kwame Nkrumah, our founding father, told us that the black man can take care of his own affairs. We believed it. He said that to as a start in changing our mindset. Because when they came to try to fight for independence, they were laughing at him. They say, they were laughing at him. Okay? So the mindset job was much tougher at that time. But they were able to do it. I told you the last I was here that when we went, my group of people who were taken to America, when we got there, we were better in the classroom than the Americans. Not to brag, I'm telling you the fact.
Yeah.
Because we went from a mindset environment of that I can learn anything. There's nothing I cannot learn, so long as I put my mind to it. So we became intelligent, we became sharp.
Yeah. And we're beating them in class.
We were beating them. You were there, we were beating them in class. So now, can we do the same thing? No. Because the mindset has swung from confidence, from I can do it type of thing, to dependency. What is the government going to do for me? What is it going to do for this? How do I get rich quick?
Yeah.
You know, and that is the process that I want to be a part of starting with the youth of Ghana, to begin to give them that confidence, their self-confidence, that there is nothing inferior about them. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing they cannot do. But the leaders of the nation, in this case, the political leaders of the nation, have to also recognize the importance of taking care of the youth of your society because they are your future.
Show some love, man. That's it. Yeah.
If you don't, your youth today are going to be your leaders tomorrow. So if you don't invest in them properly, you don't direct them properly, you don't give them the discipline and the sense of respect for themselves and for each other, then what kind of society is going to be reflected in the future? So the problem we are having today is because some indiscipline was introduced at a certain point, some dependency was introduced at a certain point, and when you bring all that equation forward to even the way we live, we said this the last time we were here, we have begun to be people who are dependent on other societies. We have become import dependent. Our people are not doing anything. They are not gainfully employed. So we are not creating anything. Anything we need, we have to get it from somebody else's country. Folks, I'm telling you, Ghana has to wake up. I'm not trying to create any sense of go and agitate or whatever, but it is a question of us at some point saying time out. Let's stop the joking. What the gentleman in the KSM studio is saying, we must listen to it carefully. We can't keep borrowing, can't keep importing. We can't do that. We will be a failed state. And the culture of work in this country is almost disappeared.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Even people, and you say we are shooting the breeze, so let's shoot the breeze.
Shoot on, bro.
Even
Shoot on, bro.
even people who have jobs,
Yeah.
what percentage of them really exert themselves when they go to their job places? I'm talking to all of you. What percentage of us? And the environment has been created that you can get away with it. How many of us give excuses, I have a funeral, and don't go out to work? How many of us show up to work late? And at the end of the day, do we really make an assessment? What did I really create today? What did I do today? Put that aside. Then you have a whole bunch of us who don't even have a job. What kind of society is that?
Yeah.
People wake up in the morning, they have no place to go. Let me spend a little time on this job thing. I have done a lot of introspection, and I've looked at a lot of nations, economies, and all of that. And I've come to realize that job is the god of a lot of these advanced countries. The job has become their god. Not like a god that you're worshiping, but the centerpiece, the key thing that holds the whole country together. Because if a human being gets up in the morning, whether they're educated or uneducated, whether they have expertise or not, for that 24 hours, there has to be some system, some machinery, some environment where they can go and exercise their creativity, their adventurism. As a human being, what is the purpose of life? You know, what they to follow their dreams. And in most societies that are advanced, this exercise of experimenting with your creativity, your adventurism, of your dreams are done through the jobs that the people have. So if somebody has studied engineering, they went to school, they've got their degree, there has to be a company that absorbs them. So they can go and practice
What
that
they've studied.
engineering.
Yeah.
A young boy, 5 years old, goes to the farm with the mother, walk to the farm. That young boy, for the first time, sees something in the air. An airplane is flying. The young boy looks at that airplane and is mesmerized. The mother can't even pull him away. There's a link between this young boy and that machinery. That could be the greatest aeronautical engineer that the world will ever know. But because of the environment where he was born, that dream will never materialize.
Yeah.
But his counterpart in another country, where they have things organized,
the structures and everything,
he will become a great aeronautical engineer.
Yeah.
And therefore, what I'm saying to you is that this job thing, we must take it very seriously. To me, to be quite honest with you, if I have some money and you ask me, you can use it for job creation or you can use it for education, my brothers and sisters, I'll use it for job creation. Because through job creation, we can create wealth that can then be deployed into education. I've talked about the step function process that we must have, the low-hanging fruits, the resources that the good Lord gave us that are abundant, that we can use to build a strong domestic economy, to create goods and services for ourselves. And if we do it well, we can export some to other people. And we sell that, and that export revenue is that we can use to build strength in other areas, in social investment, to provide hospitals and clinics for our people, education, good education schools, teachers who are paid very well. Because if you're going to do education and your teachers are not incentivized because they are not well paid, their attention is somewhere else, you are going to get inferior education.
Yeah, thinking about the Graham say they'll do afterwards. Yeah.
So this is an important issue that you are raising, and I think the point that I just want to make is that we need to start planning the life of Ghana, to think through things and put in specific plans for areas that we have strength, that we are going to use to build on the strength. And when we build a strength, I'm not saying just do one thing. We can do many things at the same time. But we must think about that for them to make sense.
Okay. Put your hands together, man. Now, when you're talking about, little kids seeing a plane and their fascination with it, and how that could amount to nowhere because of where their environment is.
Right.
As against somebody else who will see the plane, but there's a direct link to the plane. A friend of mine I was talking to and was joking, was saying, Ghana addressing yet. That's how he put it. Was it addressing it? Because there are certain things that you think are fundamental, but because of where you are growing up, just because of the address, you are handicapped. So how do we approach that? How do we improve on our address? Say, Mifigana, and what this person in Silicon Valley is thinking of. I also have the capacity to think of and develop. How do we even get there? Where are we now? Are we even?
That's a good point, but it's acquisition of knowledge. Because let's face it, we were colonized for many years, and this was during the Industrial Revolution time, when man was learning how to bend steel, casting, forging. We had our own blacksmiths. So at the beginning stages, we were participating. Knowledge seems to come to different people in different parts of the world at the same time. And then you build on that. But in our case, our process of developing the knowledge got truncated because we were colonized. And therefore, hundreds of years went by where we didn't participate in this thing. So when we became independent, the leaders at the time felt that, listen, we are talking about a black man can take care of his own affairs and all of that. But there are certain key knowledge that we need that we don't have. That's how you and I ended up in America. Let's take some of our people to go to these places, the UK, the US, Australia, Canada. Go and see, open your eyes, get the knowledge, and come back to join your people. And tell us the magic of the white man. Why is it that they have everything organized, and then we too can take it from there? And we are not the only people. I told you, I had classmates from Taiwan, from Korea, from China, from Japan, at the same time who were also sending their people to go to the centers of knowledge, to participate, and then come back home. But in our case, most of my classmates are still there.
Yeah. And the funny thing is,
So
Yeah.
let me just finish this thing. So your address is not good, okay? You want to change your address. The way you change your address is to get the ingredients that are lacking in your address that makes your address not acceptable. And those ingredients, because you were colonized, are not with you. You have to go somewhere and get it.
get it.
And when you get it, have a plan.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the plan. When you get it, have a plan.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but there are many, many instances where somebody say, well, I went there, I learned this, I studied this, I saw this, and I came back home with it, with the energy to build, use everything I've learned, and they are met with opposition. Who do you think you are? What about today? You know, so we also not only have a wrong address, but we have an address that runs a system that kills integrity. You know what I'm saying?
But that means that we don't have a plan. You see, if you allow the places that the ingredients should come to fortify it, to make the address better, but you put somebody there whose attitude is against that plan. In that case, you understand what I'm saying? So there's somebody who put it in the Ministry of whatever, Works and Housing, whatever, that we need this engineer, a Ghanaian that we send there, who is coming to come here to be with us. But the person you put there, his attitude is antagonistic towards what you're doing. And therefore, if you must to have a wholesale plan that everybody understands, you know. He's not coming to lord over you. He's one of us.
Yeah.
You send him there to come, you know, and all of that. I mean, soldiers, when soldiers are at war, they have people who go advance to try to pick intelligence information about the enemy, okay, and come back so that you can plan better. So now you have sent some of your people to the Americas, to the Canadas, to the Britons, to this and that. And they come back and they tell you that, look, they have these great engineering things, what they are doing. The Chinese did the same thing. That Americans are complaining that they are stealing intellectual property. What happened to the Africans? How come we cannot use the intellectual property that your own people went to learn to lift yourself up? It is a question of attitude and self-love.
And I like that you're saying the attitude. Isn't that sometimes to our problem as Africans or as black people? Because the African who is gone and studied and has got something additional that the person in Ghana didn't have, thinks that because I have something additional, I am better than you. So I've come to lord it over you, and that's how to sometimes those who haven't react, but who do you think you are? So how do we get that balance? You know, yeah, you come from abroad, you've studied things, you're going back to your homeland to help build, but not to come and prove to them that, Chale, I have brought the best thing and I know better than you, and if you don't, you know. So we have that conflict.
It must be, KSM, an ongoing conversation, an ongoing discussion. It cannot be a one-off. I think I told you once before, when Bill Clinton became president of the United States, that's when he started campaigning. After he won, because he wanted to change a certain mindset. He wanted to take his country from a country that was not loved to a country that is loved. And he was constantly talking to his people. Politics is about engagement of politicians and the citizens. So, if the program you're talking about is the black man can take care of his own affairs, and that this attitude you're talking about, that it must be positive to make it work. That engagement must be constant.
It should be part of the plan.
It should be part of the plan. And when you are constantly telling your people, advising them, we are not there yet, we are moving together, we are united front, we are brothers and sisters, we are doing this together.
Yeah.
And they feel that their skin is the game, they are also progressing. If it's a job, in salary, whatever, then it will work. But if there's a huge gap between the leaders and the led, and then you go and things are not working, you are not coming to talk about attitude and all of that. Those years are wasted. You know. So I believe that we need to be constantly engaged. As brothers and sisters, we are not going to solve all the problems at once. But if we keep our eye on the ball, where we are making positive progress, we talk about it. Let's keep engaging. Let's improve on it. If it's more investment we need to do to make it, we keep doing it. Where we are having difficulties, let's talk about it. What is the problem? How do we change it? And I think if we do that, Ghanaians want to see progress for themselves and for their nation.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
If you look at the Black Stars are playing this and that, and when they lose, the pain is there.
Yeah.
So we're people who love our community and we love our nation to do well.
Yeah.
But as individuals, something must keep us together.
I agree. The last thing, unfortunately, when the thing is so exciting, the time flies like there's no tomorrow. So I think this should the British.
It's over?
We are almost over. This should become a monthly platform, a monthly discussion. Because what I want to ask is this, and tune into the radio anytime they've opened the phone lines for Ghanaians to talk about what needs to be done. Everybody has the right answer. It seems that everybody knows what we should be doing in this country. If there are 100 radio stations and they all tune, they'll all be saying the same things that we should be doing. So if we know so well, and everybody knows the right thing, how do we end up here?
Well, we have to change the incentive system of the nation. People who do the right things must be rewarded. Even when you are training a dog, if you want a dog to do something, whatever you want that dog to do, the first time the dog does it, you give it something. You always get him to do it. So human beings are also the same. Our reward system must be structured to reward the positives for society.
But I hate to cut you because of time. Let me cut you quickly. We have a system that rewards the negatives. That's what we're dealing with.
Change it. That's the point I'm making. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
You must change it. Because if you do that, if it's the negative that will give me a reward, human beings will go and do the negative.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a very, very simple basic example is like there's an event. It's supposed to start at 9 p.m. Okay, the event will start at 11 p.m. Why? Because they were waiting for those who are coming late. Oh, yeah, let's not start now. So those who went there early on time and respected time, they are punished. And when guys exactly. Because why? We want to wait and reward the latecomers. So that has become our society. We
That's an excellent example.
Yeah.
We accept it and we should not.
We accept it.
Yes. And then, so the punishment has to be, here again, every society is led by leaders. Okay? So if there's a function, and say some minister is supposed to be the keynote speaker, if he's late, the people should walk away.
Show some love.
If they begin to do the right things, then the followers will begin to do the right thing. But if they are the head and doing the wrong thing, because they are the busiest people in the world and they were so busy doing everything, that should not be acceptable.
Yeah.
You are supposed to address this audience at 11 o'clock. You should be there at 10:30.
Yes. Yes.
So, thank you for inviting me again. But let me.
We have to shoot the breeze again because the first time you came and went, when is he coming again? When is he coming? So I think people will need to hear these things and hopefully it will inspire people, you know. So we are going to make this
but a regular thing. 1 hour goes so fast, man.
Can you believe it? Can you really say the time is gone so fast? Or am I getting the time wrong? The time I don't know, man. Show us a love one more time. It was so hot and exciting. Whenever Citizen Kofi is here, then you know that we are being real.
Yes.
So we're going to have time to get real again every month.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for coming with the energy and the inspiration, and then you've lit the fire again in me. You know. So.
But let's stay united, Ghana. Let's stay united.
Yes, very important.
Brothers and sisters, we can disagree on things.
Thank you.
But the bottom line is that we must travel the same road to the same destination.
Thank you.
Inclusive, everybody to benefit from.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers for that one more time. Thank you. So until next week when we come back with some more exciting, stimulating things, let me say I am out of
I just say, Shadow.
You be a chopper.